So, here. So this chete mantra has got me thinking. Because we have established now, don't worry, how are you? Because we have established now that the whole game is just rigged against us. And the opposition was created to rig us, to rig our hopes, to rig our emotions. That is why they call it Chamisa Chete, so that there will be nobody else who will oppose ZANU-PF. So ZANU-PF has monopolized the opposition. They created their own opposition, who is Chamisa, and they call them Chamisa Chete, so that nobody else can challenge him. You understand? And no one will challenge Chamisa because he is a creation of ZANU-PF, their opposition that they can manage. You get that trick? Understand? That's why I been Chamisa Chete. That is why when you attack Chamisa, all the Chamisa bakers, they will attack you back. It's not Chamisa bakers, those are ZANU-PF thugs. Those are operatives of ZANU-PF supporting Chamisa for the sake of ZANU-PF, not for the sake of Chamisa. We'll talk later. So let me finish off my thought. I hope it's not too windy here. That you see, these guys in Harare, they really are playing with the people of Zimbabwe's lives. All of them. Chamisa and ETN, Chiwek, all of them. You see, now I was explaining to you that this Chamisa Chete mantra, I want you to understand where it's coming from and what is the idea behind it. If you are uninformed or if you are uninitiated, you will think that Chamisa Chete is a slogan that came from CCC or MTC or Chamisa followers who genuinely are opposing ZANU-PF. No, it came from ZANU-PF. Do you know why? Because as I told you, that Chamisa is actually a project of ZANU-PF himself. So ZANU-PF had to contain him or contain opposition. The way you contain opposition is all politicians, most political organizations do across the world, by the way. It's not peculiar to ZANU-PF alone. Is that you have to control the opposition. What you do is you select a leader for your people. You select one that is going to be a champion. Understand? That's like they selected Nelson Mandela. But Nelson Mandela was a good guy. He was selected and he was a good guy for his people. But in certain instances, a person is selected and the person is not good for his people. The selection is to rig the hearts of the people, so that when your hearts are captivated, your hearts as the opposing majority or as the suffering Republicans, you rally behind this person who is a fraud, essentially. Okay, like Chamisa is a fraud. So the Chete mantra is so that nobody else can come and oppose ZANU-PF except for Chamisa. Okay, nobody else. Chamisa Chete. And because if somebody else comes in to challenge ZANU-PF, then that person, if that person is not controlled by ZANU-PF, his narrative is not controlled by ZANU-PF, ZANU-PF will have trouble defeating that person, because that person will be truly independent. But Chamisa is not independent. Chamisa is a stooge for ZANU. And the system is working because here it is. The Zimbabweans do follow him. And lots of Zimbabweans are now beginning to see that this guy is a fraud. Most Zimbabweans are beginning to see that how come he's got no structures? How come he's got no agenda except to say ZANU-PF guy boot? Nothing. And how come they're saying Chamisa Chete? Why him? Why him Chete? What's so special about him? Why is that Chete? And why is it so defended, even violently? If you check online and you check in other places, you recognize this pattern. There is a violent defense of Chamisa. Ever since he did this, what he did to Kupe, and even with this ZANU-PF Super Rakashi, who are very verbally violent on online platforms, you will discover that even the Chamisa people are also verbally violent. But I discovered something about these Chamisa people as I was studying this thing and God opening my eyes. Then I began to say that no, these actually are not Chamisa's people. These are actually CIOs who are pretending to be Chamisa's people, or this part of this pretend opposition. You will see that they have only one. They've got this same commonality with ZANU-PF ones. They are both violent. The ZANU-PF are verbally violent against anybody who's opposition, and those opposition ones as well. They are also verbally violent against ZANU-PF. So there is this polarization. This polarization, as I was telling you, as God was showing me yesterday, it was created by General Chiwenga. He is a leader of this this polarization in Zimbabwe. God said I must not be afraid of saying his name, because if it doesn't fix Zimbabwe, God is going to destroy him totally. Chiwega, stop destroying my country. Holy is God. Do you understand? Now, if you are a normal human being, you open Twitter or any other social media, you see these politicians arguing, then you take sides. You in your mind, you think that there is many of us who support Chamisa, or there's many of us who support Zanu. There isn't. Those are just robots. The people who are hired to do all of that stuff, and then the rest of the people are suffering, and they will never see the light of day because they have been caged by this Chamisa Chete mantra. It's either you're in Chamisa and you'll never see glory, there will never be success, or you are in Zanu benefiting with a few, and the rest of the people are going to be languishing in poverty forever until Jesus comes. Unless the Lord does something about it, there will be no change. Do you understand? So I want you to understand this Chamisa Chete mantra, that it's for the sake of monopolizing opposition structures, so that nobody else can monopolize anything. Come look at South Africa. ANC has got many oppositions. We've got EFF, we've got DA, we've got FF Plus, we've got all sorts of other organizations, and they all are independent. And then in Zimbabwe, you just have this one CCC that is defended, even violent. And I'm trying to tell you that it is intentional, and it is a move of Zanu PF, so that the Zimbabweans will never be free. All of this is done so that only a few will benefit, and the rest of the country can be caged. So that is the cage of Satan that you have been caged in. And therefore, if you are wise, you will listen to this wisdom and understand. Then you will know exactly what to do. Holy